I work as a supply driver for a wildlife research outpost. Most of my job is routine transporting fuel, food, and equipment between the main road and the station deep inside the reserve. The route isn't long, but it passes through stretches of open land where animals move freely. Because of that, I've learned to drive slowly and stay alert. You don't rush on these roads. That afternoon was no different. The sky was clear, the road dry, and I expected to complete the trip before sunset. There was nothing to suggest the day would turn into anything unusual. About halfway through the route, I saw something ahead on the road. At first, I thought it was just a large rock or fallen branch. But as I got closer, I realized it was moving. It was an elephant, a full-grown male, standing directly in the middle of the road. That in itself wasn't rare. Elephants cross the road often. Usually, if you stop and give them space, they move on. So I slowed the truck and waited. But he didn't move. He stayed exactly where he was, facing the truck. His ears flared slightly, and his trunk lifted, testing the air. I turned off the engine, expecting that the silence would make him more comfortable. Still, he didn't step aside. Instead, he took a few slow steps closer. That's when I realized this wasn't a normal crossing. I've seen elephants show warning signs before head shaking, mock charges, loud trumpeting. This wasn't like that. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't trying to scare me away. He stood close to the front of the truck and made a low rumbling sound. Then he turned slightly and walked a few steps off the road, stopping and looking back at me. It felt deliberate. I stayed inside the truck for a moment, watching. He repeated the movement back toward the truck, then away again, stopping to look at me. I felt uneasy. It's never wise to get out of a vehicle around a wild elephant, especially a large male. But something about his behavior didn't match any warning signs I knew. It felt like he was trying to lead me somewhere. I started the engine again and slowly moved forward. The elephant stepped off the road and began walking along a narrow track that led into the brush. I followed at a distance, keeping the speed low. Every few meters he would pause and look back, making sure the truck was still behind him. It wasn't a straight path. It felt more like he knew exactly where he was going. The further we went, the rougher the ground became. I hesitated for a moment. This wasn't part of my route, and I wasn't sure how far it would go. But turning back didn't feel right either. The elephant continued ahead, steady and focused. After a few minutes, the track opened into a small clearing. That's when I saw her. A female elephant was lying on her side near the edge of the clearing. She wasn't moving much, just slight shifts now and then. Her breathing looked heavy, uneven. The male walked straight to her and stood beside her, lowering his trunk to touch her gently. It was clear she was in distress. I stopped the truck at a safe distance and got out slowly. I kept my movements calm, speaking softly, even though I knew the elephants wouldn't understand the words. The female's abdomen was noticeably swollen. It didn't take much to realize she was pregnant. She tried to lift her head slightly, but couldn't get up. The ground beneath her was uneven, and it looked like she might have slipped or become too weak to stand. I knew I couldn't handle this alone. I returned to the truck and used the radio to contact the research station. Elephant down, female, possibly pregnant. Male present but not aggressive. I said, giving my location as accurately as I could. They told me to keep a safe distance and monitor the situation until the veterinary team arrived. It would take at least an hour. I stayed near the truck, watching. The male elephant remained close to the female, occasionally touching her with his trunk. At times he would look toward me, then back at her. He didn't show any signs of aggression, but I kept my distance. There was a quiet tension in the air, the kind that comes when something important is happening and there's nothing you can do but wait. When the rescue team finally arrived, they approached carefully, keeping their movements slow and controlled. The male elephant watched them closely but didn't interfere. The veterinarian assessed the female from a distance first, then prepared a mild sedative to reduce her stress. They explained that the goal was to help her stand, not to move her far. After the sedative took effect, the team moved in with ropes and support equipment. They worked carefully, positioning themselves around her without causing alarm. With gentle pressure and guidance, they encouraged her to shift her weight. At first she struggled. Then slowly she managed to bring her legs under her. It took time, but eventually she stood. The male stepped closer immediately, staying beside her. Once she was on her feet, the team checked her quickly. There were no obvious injuries, just exhaustion and strain. They stepped back, giving the elephant space. The female remained standing, leaning slightly toward the male. After a few minutes she took a step forward, then another. The male stayed close, matching her pace. As the elephants moved away from the clearing, I stood there for a while, trying to process everything. The male hadn't just happened to block the road. He had done it deliberately. He had made sure I noticed him, then led me directly to where help was needed. Without that, I would have passed by without ever knowing. The team packed up and left, and I eventually returned to my route. But the moment stayed with me. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It was quiet, almost simple. An animal needed help. Another one understood that help was possible. And somehow, in a way I still don't fully understand, he made sure it came.